Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. We have a really good video. This video actually comes from a client project we got a chance to work with not so long ago. The client asked us how we can move a Autodesk license server from a physical server 1 to another physical server 2 without affecting production environments. He does have a lot of Autodesk software already installed on his workforce and doesn't want that to stop. He also wants to take this physical server 2 in the future and move it to a virtual server 3, either hosting it internally in his virtual cloud or externally in a public cloud, either from Amazon or Microsoft. So how does one do this automatically with the least amount of work and also making sure that he does not lose production? Stick around, you don't want to miss this.
So let's go over some Autodesk license server basics. We all know that when we install Autodesk software, we can specify if it's a standalone installation or a network installation. When you specify that it is a network installation, you have the option to specify which license server will have the licenses for this particular product. And this is specified during installation or during deployment image creation. The variable that the system uses is ADSK flex _ license _ file. There's three possible areas that this value is recorded. The first and foremost is the environment variable, which is stored by the operating system. When on boot up, it reads the variable. The second is the registry key, and the third is the linkpath.lic file, which is typically stored in the installation directory. So if you have already installed Autodesk software on a couple hundred workstations, why would you want to move your license servers and risk breaking things? Well, one real big reason is because you might have to decommission a server because of hardware issues or because of just age. Another reason is that a lot of companies are virtualizing their physical servers in order to reduce server rack footprint and also maximize their hardware. Another reason why people do this is because they want to set up a redundant license servers or setting it up at Amazon or Microsoft's cloud services, but then without impacting production environments. So the question is, how do you move your workstations if you had a couple of hundred workstations from license server number 1 to license server number 2? During a project we worked with a couple of our clients, we had the same problem. So first thing to do, I recommended, is actually to double check that the Active Directory within the organization is properly configured. I'm going to show you our internal Microsoft Resources Active Directory. I pulled up Group Policy Management, and you can see that this is Microsoft.local. My domain's listed, and my OUs are pretty organized. I have a New York Training Center. I'm just going to expand this folder, and you can see that there's group policies listed directly, and also I have two training rooms. I have a small training room and a large training room, and if you expand that, there's other group policies in there as well. So the main one I want to look at is the all-encompassing one, or the parent group policy, which is this Autodesk Licensing Servers group policy. This is the area where I'm going to make a environment variable to use for all the workstations in a large room, in the small room, and other rooms that's going to be part of the New York Training Center OU. So if you double click on Autodesk License Servers, you see that the settings will be listed here, or you can see the scope, the details, the settings. If you look at the settings, you'll see the name of the OU and when it was collected, right? This is a computer configuration. It's listed under Preferences, Windows Settings, Environment Variables. If you click on Environment Variables, you see the variable name. It's Autodesk Flex _ license _ file. Click that once and you'll see the values of it. I'm going to click on General, and you can see the different variables. Right? The value is at Vector1, which is my first license server, at Photon, which is my second license server, and at MRSQL, which is an old server that's already decommissioned. If Vector1 is not available, or there's no longer any licenses for the particular product, it will actually back over to Photon number 2, Photon, which is my second license server. This is very useful if you have multiple sites and you're distributed amongst different regions. If you have a backup license server somewhere else, such as Amazon, EC2, etc., etc. Keep in mind that there's no spacing and it's all on one line. So it's at Vector1 semicolon at Photon semicolon at MRSQL. So you have to make sure that when you make a new variable, it follows the same syntax. All right.
So once you've made the group policy, the next thing you want to do is jump onto a virtual machine or any workstation and make sure that group policy actually works. So it usually takes about 15 minutes for group policy to refresh through all the workstations. You can actually force this. What I'm going to do is use gp update /force, and what this will do is that it'll tell the workstation to pull the group policies from the domain controllers. I'm going to press enter, and you can see that right now it's updating policies. It's going to first update the user policies, and then it's going to update computer policies. So you can see here that the user policy update has completed successfully, and the computer policy update has completed successfully. You also note that we made an environment variable using group policy. Because it's using group policy, we do not need to reboot the computer. If you were to change it via computer management, then you will actually have to reboot your computer for the environment variables to take into effect. So there's actually a few ways you can check that this group policy is pushing out the correct environment variables. The first way is actually to start the machine up, go into Control Panel, System and Security. Under System, click on Advanced System Settings. This will bring up the System Properties dialog box, and you'll have this button here that says Environment Variables. If you click on it, you'll notice that under System Variables, you have a ADSK flex _ license _ file, and with the values at vector1, semicolon at photon, semicolon at mrsql, exactly as we had it in the group policy, showing that it is indeed implied. All right, so I'm going to cancel that. There's also another way you can see that this group policy is applied to this particular workstation. The second way is actually to use the command line. Open the command line, and you're going to type gp result /r. This is the resultant set of policies that is applied to this workstation. And if you scroll just a little bit, you can see that this computer settings, this computer name is MRTRNG, Microsoft Training, New York 1-01, part of the OU large room, subset of New York Training Center, subset of the Microsoft.local domain. Right? So you see here that the applied group policy objects, it says Autodesk licensing servers is applied. So that's exactly what we want. And you can verify that from the environment variables. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. Again, not all offices are the same, and not all methods work for all offices. If you have any problems or run into any issues, feel free to contact me. My email is listed in the video, and you can also find me online on my blog and also my YouTube channel. Until next time, this is Jane Wong from the Microsoft Resources Tech Team signing out.